Hello everyone, let's check connection. Do you hear me? Super, let's start. So I am pleased to welcome you all to the InspireHer webinar, event that celebrates the incredible achievements of women who inspire others to do big things. My name is Yulia. I am brand marketing and communications lead at All Stars IT, and I will moderate today's this event. Also today with me is my colleague Anastasia, who will lead networking in our chat. So be active, listener, communicate in chat, and feel free to ask questions in the comments to our speakers. We will have Q&A session after each speaker. But firstly, I want to tell you about organizer, about company All Stars IT. We are leading global software R&D, technical support, and talent acquisition service provider. We are more than 20 years on the market. We have 100 plus clients, and we have 1,000 employees globally. And the reason why we organize such event is about our unique case. We have 95% women in our management team. Our women run sales, marketing, HR, recruiting, and operations, and we are super proud of that. That's why All Stars IT is committed to promote women leadership in our company and globally. To make this today, we invited 4 incredible speakers. Let's get acquainted with them. Ivana Wendel from VTech, Noah Halion from Pioneer, Libon Machalova from IS, and Kohavit from Google. So let's begin our journey of inspiration, empowerment, and growth. And let's welcome our first speaker to the stage, Ivana. We are waiting for you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the warm intro. And yes, let's start. Okay, looks like I need the permission to share my screen.
Yes, you will get it in 1 minute, please.
Perfect.
Yeah, let's try.
Well, okay, let's start. So I was born in a small Ukrainian town. When I was 5, I went to the first grade because my parents decided that I was already bored in the kindergarten with my peers. Starting from that time, I feel independent and damn strong. And you know why? Because I constantly had to improve and had to prove that I was. I had to protect my rights, and I had to live and learn how to be a leader every single day. Since that time, I've studied engineering graphics and product design, graduated from 2 accelerator programs in the US and Europe, founded 2 startups in the edtech and SaaS niche, and worked with hundreds of projects to help them with their development, marketing, and customer support. Even though I had extensive experience in the tech industry and a strong portfolio of large projects, I would often be questioned by new customers about whether a technical specialist would be present today. And only after the long workshops and only after the long strategic sessions, they began to see me as an expert, instead of just seeing me like just a girl. Women constantly prove their power in a variety of ways. And here are just a few examples. Women are increasingly breaking into fields that have historically been dominated by men, such as politics, business, STEM, and even military. There are about 50,000 women in the Ukrainian armed forces serving on the front lines alongside men defending Ukraine from Russian invasion. They have faced the same dangers and challenges as male soldiers, including exposure to combat, the risk of injury, and even death. Women have been proven themselves to be capable and effective soldiers, and their contributions have been recognized worldwide. Women face unique challenges in many areas of lives, from discrimination and harassment to just simple balancing work and family responsibilities. And despite these obstacles, women often demonstrate incredible resilience in overcoming them. Women are often at the forefront of efforts to affect positive change in their communities, whether through activism, volunteering, or philanthropy. And women often support and mentor other women, recognizing the importance of building a strong community and lifting each other up. Women are often praised for their ability to lead with empathy and compassion, qualities that are increasingly valued in the workplace and in society, of course, in general. So these are just a few examples of the many ways in which women prove their power every single day. The International Labour Organization has used statistical data to demonstrate that approximately half of women's productivity goes untapped. And this means that by providing support for women, by providing support for us, our effectiveness can be enhanced. Investing in diversity not only promotes gender parity in trade, but also contributes to women's economic empowerment, vibrant communities, and overall economic growth, of course. Research conducted by the McKinsey Global Institute suggests that advancing women's equality could result in a potential $12 trillion increase in the global economy by 2025. And in the most favorable scenario, this figure could rise to $28 trillion by 2025. Such a significant increase in economic growth can be achieved through simple greater gender equality and the empowerment of women. So let's talk about diversity. Diversity can be a key to success for companies if it's embraced and implemented in a meaningful way. It is an important factor for success in today's global and interconnected world. It brings different perspectives, different experiences, and ideas to the table, which can lead to increased creativity, innovation, and problem solving. It helps to create a more inclusive workplace where everyone feels valued and respected, leading to higher employee satisfaction, to higher retention, and of course, to higher productivity. Diversity also helps companies to understand and serve a more diverse customer base, leading to better customer relationships, increased sales, and a better reputation in the market in general. In addition, diversity helps to attract and retain top talent, as nowadays, more people are seeking workplaces that embrace and that celebrate diversity and inclusivity. Diversity is an essential ingredient for success in today's business landscape, and companies that prioritize diversity and inclusivity are more likely to thrive and succeed in the long term. So here are some top reasons why we need women in tech. First of all, to increase diversity and inclusion. Women bring unique perspectives and unique experiences to the tech industry, and having a diverse workforce is essential for creating innovative and inclusive products and services that meet the needs of all people. Secondly, to address the gender gap. Women, and this is not something new, women are currently underrepresented in the tech industry. And addressing this gender gap is essential for creating a more equitable society. To increase innovation and creativity, of course, women in tech bring new ideas, new approaches, and ways to thinking that can lead to more innovative and creative solutions to business problems. Studies have shown that companies with more women in leadership roles tend to be more profitable, indicating that gender diversity can have a positive impact on the bottom line. When girls and young women see women succeeding in the tech industry, it can inspire them to pursue careers in technology and STEM fields, which can lead to a more diverse and more capable workforce in the future, our future. So developing a diverse organization requires a comprehensive and intentional approach that involves multiple strategies and ongoing efforts. Here are some key steps that organization can take. First of all, they have to develop a diversity and inclusion strategy. Companies should establish a clear strategy that outlines their goals, their objectives for promoting diversity and inclusion within the workplace. This strategy should include specific targets, timelines, and of course, metrics for measuring progress. Evaluate current practices. Conduct a review of current recruitment, hiring, and promotion practices to identify any potential barriers to diversity and inclusion. This could involve reviewing job description, reviewing interview processes, and performance evaluation criteria to ensure they are inclusive and unbiased. Consider expanding recruitment efforts to attract a more diverse pool of candidates. This could involve targeting outreach efforts to diverse communities, for example, or partnering with diversity-focused organizations and revising job posting to eliminate any potential biases. Provide regular diversity training to all employees to help them understand the value of diversity and inclusion and develop skills for working effectively with colleagues from different backgrounds. And also ensure that senior leaders are committed to promoting diversity and inclusion as well, and that they are held accountable for progress in this area. This could involve like time performance metrics or diversity and inclusion goals and regularly reporting on progress. Reporting and monitor progress towards diversity and inclusion goals or make adjustments as needed to ensure that your company, your organization is making meaningful progress. So developing a diverse organization requires ongoing commitment and effort from all levels of the organization, all levels of the company. And by adopting a comprehensive approach and implementing these key strategies, organization can create a workplace culture that values and celebrates diversity and inclusion. However, diversity can be seen as a buzzword, of course, if it's simply used as a superficial label without any real action to back it up. And it is not enough to simply hire people from diverse background or pay lip service to diversity and inclusion initiatives. True diversity requires a commitment to creating an inclusive culture where everyone's contributions are valued and respected, and where people feel empowered to speak up and share their ideas. So diversity is not just a buzzword, but a real opportunity for organizations to thrive and succeed if they are willing to put in the work to make it a reality. Diverse companies are more successful for several reasons. When companies have a diverse workforce, they have access to a wider pool of talent. skills, and perspectives. This enables them to identify and recruit the best candidates for the job, regardless of their background, and to build a more capable and innovative teams. A diverse workforce brings together individuals with different perspectives and life experiences, which can lead to more creative and innovative solutions to business problems. This diversity of thought can lead to more effective decision-making and more effective problem-solving. Better understanding of customer needs. A diverse workforce can better understand and connect with a diverse customer base, and this can lead to more effective marketing strategies, to more effective and successful products and services. When employees feel that they are valued and respected for who they are more likely to be satisfied with their work and stay with the company long term. This can lead to lower turnover rates and increased productivity. A company that values diversity and inclusion can attract positive attention and reputation, which of course can help with recruitment efforts, with brand recognition, and with overall company success. Overall, a diverse workforce can lead to a more dynamic, more innovative company culture, which can ultimately lead to greater success in the marketplace. Unfortunately, women still face many challenges in many areas of life, including the workplace and society in general. However, by contributing to stand up for ourselves and demonstrate our abilities, we are contributing to the ongoing fight for gender equality and helping to pave the way for future generation of women. Just remember that our experience and our strengths are valuable and very important. And we are not alone in this struggle. Many women have faced similar challenges and have gone on to achieve great success and make significant contributions in society. So I want to invite you today to join the amazing community of Women in Tech. This is a community of women who are passionate about technology, innovation, and making a difference in the world. As you may know, the tech industry has historically been dominated by men, but that is changing. And that is changing thanks in large part to the incredible work of women in tech. Women are making a significant impact in the industry, and there has never been a better time to get involved. By joining our community, you will have the opportunity to connect with like-minded women, to share your experiences, to learn from others. You will have access to resources, to support materials that can help you advance your career, whether you are just starting out or looking to take the next step. But the benefits of joining the community go beyond just your own personal growth. You will also be a part of a movement that is changing the face of the tech industry. By bringing more women into the tech industry, we are creating a more diverse, more inclusive, and innovative tech ecosystem. So I invite you to join. Together, we can make a difference and we can create a more equitable and existent future for all. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them. And please do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you. And of course, thank you for organizing this amazing event.
Thank you, Ivana. Thank you so much. I think that today many companies promote diversity as a key value, which is a great tendency from my perspective, because every culture, every nationality, every single person sees the world in a different way, and it brings value to every company also.
Absolutely.
So, stay with us for a while because we have a question from our audience. Irina is asking, what is the biggest challenge you have faced as a woman in tech?
The biggest challenge is proving that I was. I mean, like, it's easier to be a man in the tech industry when you are the only woman in the room. It's very hard to prove that you worth, that to prove that you know that to prove your knowledge, your experience, and your potential. So this is the only challenge, but the biggest one. But you know what? This challenge make me more strong. So just believe in yourself. We are incredibly strong, incredibly powerful, and I mean, like, just believe in yourself, and everything will be good.
Super great advice. Irina, thank you for question. Give me one moment. I will check if we have any more questions. Yes, for now, that's all. So thank you, Ivana, for joining us. It was very informative. Stay with us till the end if you have time, of course. We are happy to see you in our audience. And now, I'm honored to pass the word to our second speaker, Noah Helion from Pioneer. Welcome.
Hey, hello. Hi, everybody.
How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Very excited to see you today. I pass the word to you. Please share your screen. We are excited to see your presentation.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for Ivana for the great presentation. Really enjoyed it. Okay, give me a minute.
Meanwhile, I want to remind that you can ask questions in our comments. Do not hesitate to ask everything you want. We are open today for any discussion.
Okay, cool. Can you see the presentation and hear me well?
Yes, super.
Okay, great. So in the next 25 minutes or so, I'll try to walk you through around like my tips and tricks for career development and to unleash your potential. I'm really proud to be here and thanks a lot for inviting me. So it's a pleasure to meet you all. My name is Noah Elion. I'm 39 years old, born and raised in Jerusalem in Israel, live today in the suburbs of Tel Aviv. At my current role, I'm an SVP of Revenue Operations at Payoneer, which is a global cross-border company, and I'll explain that in a minute. I'm also married to Ami and a mother to Ido, Omer, and Itai. 3 boys, so it's always hectic. I love what I do for a living, and I actually enjoy in my free time sports, nature, and beach. So as I mentioned, and I was asked by the team here to share a bit about my career path, and I'll try to share my 2 cents around career development. I think personally it really applies to all gender, but I think that you can probably even take a few tips even more further for us women. So I'll go shortly on my career path. Basically, I studied industrial engineering in the Tel Aviv University. Then I worked for around 4 years in management consulting because I wanted to learn a lot and fast. So I got a chance to work with multiple industries, first from goods, finance, high tech. I did roles from junior consulting, project managers, all the way to director, and had an opportunity to move from operations to strategy, which I found is much more appealing to me, and this is where the value and the business really lies. After 4 years in management consulting, I realized, like each and every consultant, that I want to be work internally in a company, not only as a consultant. And I got a chance to work as the head the biz dev and strategy for Leumi Card, which is a large issuer and acquirer in Israel, in a very exciting days for that company. And later on, I actually, part of my role, I actually shaped the SMB strategy for the team back then. And I realized that I want to move from doing the strategy deck into the execution, because I knew that this is where the real challenge lies. So I kind of was given the privilege to actually open a new department for product marketing, business analytics within the SMB line of business. And in the past 3 years, I'm working for Payoneer. Now starting my 4th year, you can see a bit about my journey. So I started as a director of sales operations, moved into senior director, VP revenue operations, and now SVP. Maybe just a very small, I think maybe something that I'm proud about in my career is that I actually was promoted twice while I was pregnant, both back in the management consulting and in Leomicard in MATS. And in the recent year, I actually got the chance to promote 2 managers in my team while pregnant. And I definitely, one value that I really, really cherish is walk the talk. And so I'm really, really grateful to have the opportunity to do it and to promote people by the value that they bring and not by a short-term view of the hours that they have or the few months that they will be absent. And I'll maybe talk a bit about Payoneer to the ones in the crowd who's not familiar with us. So we're actually a public company. We're 17 years old or getting closer to 18 years old. We're a cross-border fintech company, cross-border payments. We're very, very global. And this is actually what drives me, what I love about Payoneer. It's very diverse. We served more than 100 markets. In the go-to-market, we have people in around 30 countries, 30 locations. Among our biggest markets, we have Ukraine, China, Pakistan, Argentina, and many more. I'm extremely proud that around 50% of the employees are actually women. And recently, a good chunk of our senior leaders are women as well. So I think that Payoneer really puts a very, very, I think, again, really walking the talk in promoting women, promoting diversity. And that's a big honor for me. And it's definitely something that we see across the globe as something that is important for us in the company. So I'll try to talk a bit about my career growth and my learning so far, and I hope it will be helpful. Please feel free to ask any question, pause me at any time. So I'll talk a bit about my learning, and then we can move to my tips and tricks. So actually, when you look at your career, I think the number one for me is really to find my sweet spot. And what I mean by sweet spot is really the area that I'm good at it, the area that I actually enjoy of, and the area that I actually create value to a company. And I say that I think it's not an only one-time exercise. Actually, when I started my career as a student position, I used to be like a data engineer, and I was pretty good at it. I was offered like a very cool role in the company I used to work with as a student, but I realized that I'm not thriving and it's not where my passion is. And that's why I went to move into management consulting, actually to see a lot of industries, to see diversified businesses, and to be at the center of things. So to me personally, this is what it means. And from time to time, I actually check if I'm in my sweet spot and if I'm finding that room. So I kind of invite each one of us to do that for a moment. Secondly, it's really around the career progress. So it's not really linear as one would think it is, right? So you think that, hey, I started and then I want to be senior and maybe become a team leader or director or whatever. But in reality, career progress is not really linear, and that's actually the beauty of it. And I can give maybe one example for my career. When I decided to join Payoneer, I really wanted to join a global company back then. I used to work for Max, which is an Israeli local company. And I knew I'm joining a really great company, really great culture growth company. And actually took a role that is much smaller than the role that I had back in Leomicard. And so for being a VP, for managing a group of 15 people, I actually went and managed like 3 team members doing a gray role for some time. But then like after 2 years, I got promoted again and became a VP in Payoneer, took a huge role. And the great thing about it is that actually after those 2 years, I actually became much better as a manager. And doing this role in the past like 2 years, much better. So it's not only about linear, it could be, so my small example goes to the way that I progress and maybe downgraded myself. But what I'm trying, I guess, to pass here is that career progress could be changing the domain that I work, maybe opening my independent, start work as independent for some time, or could be change my area of responsibility. It's not by any means just going up the ladder. And I really invite you to look at it that way. Thirdly, for me personally, career development and my personal development are one. So here's like a picture of my older son Ido with my youngest son Itai, like 5 years ago when he just born. So to me, it's really, as a woman, I never really differentiate the two. It's really a mix of them, right? So there's a year where I will progress more in my personal development. There's a year that will progress more or maybe differently in my career one, and it's really a combination of the two that sets my development as a person. So again, I invite you to look at it in both ways. I'm putting it out there because a few weeks ago, a colleague of mine in my company, she's pregnant and she wanted to consult with me. She'll be like, listen, no, I'm like, I feel I'm stuck. Like I really want to progress. My peer is promoted. I'm pregnant and I'm like stuck, so to speak, quote unquote, of course. And I told her like, hey, look at yourself. Like that's amazing, right? That's actually progress in life. And then back then she started to do like a podcast as part of her roles in Pioneer. So really looking at personal development, career development, much more wide than just like, am I promoted or is my salary increasing? So I think to me, that's a very, very important notion. So thinking about it now, like even like more tactical, how do I think about career growth and career development? So a couple of things that are really, really crucial to me when I'm looking at my career. So one is really to be in a constant learning mode. So I'm trying to, like, I guess, share what are the things that makes me, I think, better at work and what type of peers I'm learning for the most. So one element is constant learning. I really, really, really invite you to keep on learning, try to learn from your peers, from your team, from external companies that do the similar roles or whatever way that you like to learn. My 2 tips for like success when you're starting a new role, a new business, is actually to go out there, reach out to 2 or 3 team members that are doing a similar role to yours, and go and reach out to them and try to connect for an hour. I think sometimes I always do it when I start a new role, and I'm always amazed by the fact that I can learn so much from others. It could be even one really, really strong tip that will get me to open my thoughts and really open me for new directions. Secondly, I'm always really grateful to learn from my team. I'm happy, like the people that I manage, my peers, so my colleagues, so really, really to be open for learning. Secondly, I always ask myself, am I making the impact in my role? And am I making the impact that I want to make in my role? So it's not, at least I spent a lot of my time at work, and I want to make sure that I really leave my mark on the role. I always ask myself, like, how would the success look like a year from now? What KPIs or what do I want to create? And then like working backwards to that. And it's always really, really important for me to put my own fingerprint on whatever I do. So I think it's really, really important, and that makes a big difference in my career, but also in the progress, because then you want to go and think about like and by the way, it also gives me a lot of satisfaction in what I do to actually meet those challenges and meet those success factors. And a lot of times, like people would ask me, hey, like, what's the right time to think about my next challenge? Is it like a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever? I always think about it as, you know what, start to think about it today, right? Like I'm impatient when it comes to progress, when it comes to learning, when it comes to new challenges. Honestly, I'm always thinking about it. And I definitely encourage people to think about what's their next challenge. And I encourage you to do it today, because I'm always asking myself, hey, what do I want to do in my next role? By the way, not 10 years from now, but like what I want to do in my next role, 5 years from now, and which muscles do I want to train today in order to be relevant for the next position that I want to make. So even if I want to open a startup in my next role, for example, which muscles should I try to train today to make me more fit for opening the startup? So I think that's very, very helpful. And you can always talk to your peers, to your managers around, hey, how can I make myself train on those muscles even today? And lastly, it's really about like me personally, I'm not comfortable when I'm comfortable. So when I start to feel too comfortable in a role, when I think I'm, you know, too much ahead of myself, this is where I know I need to continue. And as you can see in my career path, I tend to stay, like I personally even tend to stay in the same company, but I would always move around roles. So I'm kind of lucky to get the chance to do a new role in a similar company rather than moving and jumping between companies. And I think it brings a lot of value when you're doing it. And last thing and way for me to think about development, as I mentioned earlier, I always have like KPIs. I'm data driven. I'm engineer. I know. I always love to think about like my career KPIs, and I always have in a separate notes my personal KPIs for the year. It turns out to be for me the best way to manage it and to make sure that I succeed. So even talking to you today is actually one of my personal KPIs for the year, to come to speak about myself, even though I'm honestly like a bit embarrassed of it, and try to make the best out of it. So to me, that's the way that it got me to walk around like my personal development alongside my career KPIs. So talking about my tips and tricks for success. First, I'm not sure how tight you are with your schedule. I know that as a mother, as a parent, and as a busy executive, time management, like time is the most valuable asset that I have. So I really, really have to control like time, right? So in one of my managers previously told me that I have to ensure that my calendar actually reflects my priorities. If it's not super reflecting my priorities, it means that I have no chance to, like zero chance to succeed. So that's my number one tip for success. Secondly, it's around proactiveness. I think that in many times, we can actually be much more proactive, and we have much more autonomy to operate and to create value than we think. So I really encourage you, whether you're an independent, whether you're working in a company, if you have a good idea, if you think about something, go out there, do it, be proactive about it. I can share that I'm as a leader, I love being that way, and I really respect team members who are acting that way and comes with a better idea than mine, and actually going and trying to do it. And now really talking about what Ivana just shared, I think it's really about be proud of who you are, right? And I think it takes time and a bit of maturity. I actually think today that the fact that I'm a woman and a parent actually makes me a really, really strong manager. And why am I saying it? Is I can again share about my personal, like, I guess, like notion. I think that as a parent, you kind of becomes like more, you have like the priorities, and I think that you have like much broader view of life in a sense. As a woman manager, it's much easier. I think that like empathy comes much more natural to me. And on the other side, I will always have high demands for my team. So I love it that, we can be super, really look after the team. And on the other side, really demand the high quality. So to me, it means it's part of who I am. And like using my secret sauce as a woman and as a parent, I really feel that I'm proud of who I am and what we can accomplish with our capabilities. And I'm actually putting aside for a minute everything that has to do with my professional experience, with everything, just about who I am and what I can bring to the table. Secondly, it's really about like be confident in the value that you bring. I think that like really like if you bring value, use facts, use data. Never apologize when asking for a raise. Never apologize when you're trying to share your value. Just be there, be confident, and be definitely like really, really confident in the value you bring. As a manager, I admit that I see the differences between women to men in this situation. And that's why I really, really encourage each one of us to be confident in the value we bring and to use facts and data and a lot of motivation. A couple of last points are really around finding work-life balance and like family and career balance. So to me, it's I think it's actually, to be honest, it's not easy, right? It's I have 3 young boys. I really want to spend time with them. On the other hand, I have a very demanding job, a very global one. I can open my day very early with China team, spend the day with Europe, and then do late night calls with the US. It's really not easy to find that balance. And it's not a one-time exercise. But what I found out that it's really, really individual, right? So the way that what balance means to me, Noah Elion, would mean something very, very differently to Lebov or to other person in the room. And it's really about finding the right balance for yourself. And I also encourage, like, I definitely do it from time to time. So something that was important for me at some point is not the same as other. And really making sure that once you find the right balances for yourself, like really stick to it. And I can also share, it's really interesting in Pioneer because I see how challenging that is across culture. So I can speak with my teammates in China where the work-life balance is different, and colleagues in India. And that's definitely something that we see across the globe. And it's super, super interesting to see how each one, an individual, gets it. But to me, it's a very, very important topic. Around that area, for me, my main, I would say, most crucial point in the career was when I had my second boy. I had 2 very, very young boys at home. I was very, very ambitious at work. And I really wanted to progress in my career, but I also really wanted to become a great mother. And at that time, to be honest, it wasn't easy for me to find that balance. Again, I really wanted to succeed in work. I really wanted to be a mother. And at that point, it was a crucial time for me to find kind of a mentor. And I had like a senior executive in the company that I used to work with back then. That was like my unofficial mentors that really helped me to shape my voice in that. So I kind of encourage you to do it at crucial times at your careers. And I think it's a really, really great lever to learn from others' experience. And last, I think, tip from my perspective is really have fun, right? So making sure that you're finding the best working environment for you. One could enjoy a very solid working environment, one with like a young and like with a lot of people. I actually enjoy working with a very smart people and diverse team members. But what's really, really important for me, and that's like my two cents to you, is really make sure that you have fun, right? We work hard, we play hard, so make sure that you also have fun on the way. And yeah, so I think this is probably it. I try to keep it pretty slim and not over talk. And thank you for the opportunity, and I'm happy to hear any question and happy to connect on LinkedIn and so forth. So thanks a lot.
No, thank you so much. You know, I was always inspired by women like you who combine successfully work, maternity, self-care, and self-development. So you are one of that example. And I noticed that we have something in common between Pioneer and All Stars because we have a great percentage of women in our company. And I think it's very inspiring for other companies and a good point to work at.
Cool. So, thank you very much.
I want to stop on 2 questions we have from the audience. First of all, question from Valentina. You said that 50% of women are in Pioneer. So do you mean in management position or in tech?
Actually, that's the total number that's our total number. I don't remember the exact stats in the senior leadership, but we definitely have a very high ratio also in management positions. In tech, I think it's a bit lower, but we're higher than the benchmark. And we actually just got like some kind of award around it, around, I think, a few weeks ago. So happy to share that.
Okay. And are there any strategies to achieve this equity like you do?
I think that as Ivana mentioned earlier, I think it's a hard work. It's walk the talk, right? It's really giving this example. In tech environment, I think it's even more complicated. So we need to be even more open and to attract women into the tech roles. And so I agree with what my colleague mentioned earlier.
Super. And one more question from Oksana. What is the main difference for you between managing a women's team and men's team?
Okay, that's a really good topic. I didn't think about it. Honestly, I don't have any preference. Like I would like, I like it when it's diverse, and I enjoy working with smart, humble, good team players. So I actually don't have like a really strong something to say here.
So
To me, it's like I'm like agnostic. Like I actually look at the person and what that person needs are, like in a deeper way than if it's just a gender. So I think I can share that I have like a woman manager that I manage, and she's like very into stuff and very like keep it super professional. So not really, I would say, not going by what you think that will define so I really think about it much deeper than just the gender. It's really about relationship, about what drives the person, and how to make sure that we're creating the best value with each other.
Great. Thank you, Noah. I believe that every of our participants will think after your speech about finding a great work-life balance. You did a great emphasis on this, and I believe it's very important for us. So thank you one more time.
Thank you.
Stay with us, and I am very happy to pass the word to third speaker. It's Lyubova Mochalova from IS.
Hi. Hi, nice to meet you all. Hi, guys. Hi, All Stars IT for having me. I'm honored to be here today speaking about personal brand and about PR, the love of my life. And of course, thank you, All Stars IT, my dear friends, my dear partners, to invite me here today. Okay.
Yeah, I want to remind people that you can ask questions in our comments. Feel free. Everything regarding career paths, PR, you can ask Lyuba.
Yeah.
Lyuba is very open to answer all your questions you have in mind.
Can I share my screen? Yes?
Yes, you can.
1 second.
Super, we see your screen, so you can show presentation and we can start.
Yeah, 1 second, please. Okay, so here we go. Hi, everyone. I'm Lyubova Mochalova. I'm 35 years old. Speaking about my career, I was working a lot and in different places. I was working in the GR sector. I was working in banking sector, in big corporations like Ernst & Young. And for more than 5 years, I'm in PR. But before I became a professional PR manager, I was always good at personal branding for myself in my career. So it was not on a professional level, but I really always felt like I need to do it, and promoting myself always helped me to get good positions, to get good salaries, to promote myself on positions in any company, and to be successful. And for more than 5 years, I'm making this for other people for money and doing this professionally as a PR expert. For more than 3 years, I'm PR expert in IT industry. In 2020, at the beginning of this year, I came in IT sector and I became a personal PR manager of IT businessman, and he had a few IT projects. Which I was also PRing. And at the spring, at the beginning of this year, we decided to make IT Association, the European project. We decided it to be the European Association of Software Engineering. And I was not the leader there. I was just like looking around, helping the team all the time. We registered it at spring of 2020. And in autumn of 2020, I became the CEO of European Association of Software Engineering. And I will shortly tell you how did it happen. So for the year, I was really working hard as a PR manager of this founder of all these projects. I was promoting him and all his projects. And speaking about the IT Association I was always nearby, and there were some men leading this project. They were not really successful because they were not working on the systematical base. So they were coming and going. There was no systematical formats. There were no systematically meetings with IT companies, and they really didn't know what to do with IT sector because some formats working, some does not, and you have to understand what really Ukrainian and European IT companies do need in their work, and how you can help and how can you help not, and how you can be useful or useless. So
for 1 minute, can you share please presentation? We don't see it. I saw it before, so I want everyone to see this great presentation today.
Sorry, I thought it.
Yeah, now we see your Telegram desktop. Maybe you choose not the right window to share. Try to switch on sharing and switch off again.
It says that приостановлено.
Okay, and try one more time.
And now?
Yes, super. Let's continue. Thank you so much. Sorry for
this, guys. Okay, I was always nearby this project, and I was always helping the team. This is important thing for you to hear this point. I was always near the team, and I was always showing the team that I'm here to help, that I'm here to promote the project. I'm here to support with all my knowledge and all I can. And I was always there, of course, for the founder. And in autumn, I decided to propose my candidature for the CEO. I came up to the founder. Of course, I was afraid to do that, but I could not wait any longer. I was thinking about this all the time. So I became courage for this moment. I came up to him and I said, I'm ready to take this responsibility to become CEO. And I know what to do with this project. I know how to gather IT companies. I know how to gather the proper team. I know which formats will do, and I will do it as a leader. And I was really afraid that he will deny my candidature. But at that moment, when I proposed myself, at that very moment, at that very conversation, he already made me a CEO in all work chats, So for the team, at that very moment, I became the CEO. And I will not tell you now all the details, how it was hard, like being a leader for the first months, because one thing you think how it will go, and another thing how it really goes, yes. But in general, at the end, as a result, I was a CEO of European Association of Software Engineering for more than 2 years, and from the very zero, now it's one of the biggest community in Ukraine and in Europe. All Stars IT are our honored residents, which we love very much. And we really made a lot of good things for IT sector for this period. Now I left this position because I'm moving on, and but I still the creative producer of the documentary, The First Code, also very big project, where I was the initiator of the idea. It was also very interesting to promote IT sector for me always. So my ideas always. Are for the PR of IT sector of Ukraine all over the world. So I said to my team, let's do the documentary about IT sector of Ukraine, and let's do it worldwide project, and let's do it famous. So we began to do it like a year ago. Then the war began, and now we continued it, but in a very, very bigger scale. So now we are in the finishing line of this project. It almost ready, and we all the time are speaking with big world platforms like Netflix, like Apple TV, and so on, because we really want this movie, this film, this documentary about IT sector of Ukraine to be worldwide, and world to see the history of IT industry and how was it from zero promoting till today. So this is shortly about my career. Now I am the founder of my own PR school, of my own PR agency, and I'm already, again, I'm at the stage where when I'm afraid to do something new, when I'm afraid to go further in my career, because having your own business, having your own project is scary, it's nervous, and a lot of processes, a lot of things I don't know, but I still do it no matter my fears, because I want to do it. So my motto today: always stay loyal to yourself. It doesn't matter if you are a PR manager, if you are HR, if you are on any position in any company, it doesn't matter the sector, IT sector or any other, you always have to think about your own ambitions, about your own will. What do you want? What do your soul want? And you have to promote your personal brand, because we women are, by our nature, we always give. We're giving persons, yes, and we give a lot to our company owner, to our team. We give a lot to our family. We give a lot of to company, and to promote the company, to promote the company owner, to promote the project, the product. We all do it, yes. But I really want to ask you today to stay loyal to yourself, and promoting the project, promoting the company owner and the product and the project, but also always in parallel, promote yourself, make your personal brand. It will always help you. It doesn't matter if you decide to propose your candidature on CEO or on a higher level position, or for example, in a few years, you would like to go from your company and become to do your own project. It doesn't matter. Your personal brand will be your own value. It will always be yours, and it will always help you in your any wishes and any wills. So, and I have now 9 questions, magic questions. How can you see if you will become a personal brand? First of all, do you have enough moral and physical strength to make a move? You have to understand that if you become a personal brand, you become public, you really need moral. You really need moral and physical strength, because even making interviews, promoting yourself needs a lot of physical work, needs a lot of good health, needs a lot of moral and ethical traits. So you have to think, if you have all this, and if you do not have all this at this very moment, you have to improve it. For example, go for sports, go to the pool, swimming pool, make some vitamins, give some vitamins to your body or something like that. Improve your physical and mental health. There is a lot of information today about this, so you can just pay attention to this and pay attention to yourself and make sure you are good at physical and moral form. Next question, how ready are you to change your environment and lifestyle? Only successful, only inspiring, and only pumped and energetic people. It is very important when you become a personal brand, when you become a leader. This is your decision. What environment, what people around do you have? If you want, you will have a lot of criticism, a lot of dull people, a lot of negativity, and so on. But if you really want to become a successful leader, you will have the environment of successful people, inspiring you, helping you, believing in you. And it is very, very important. For example, now when I'm starting my own business, I really see that my environment is perfectly built, and I really appreciate them so much. They really help me. They really inspire me. When I have my fears, they struggle with my fears, even for me, you know. So it's very important and very interesting thing to do, and you have to strictly divide people around you for negative and positive, for energetic or dull, and so on. Next question, how calmly do you treat criticism? You know, when you go public, when you start doing your personal brand, your career, when you become a leader, of course, there will be criticism. And, you know, when somebody we don't know criticize us, for example, in a social media, some haters or somebody, he just writes some commenter that you don't like, you cannot react that big at this because you don't know this person. But I will tell you for sure that when you go public, the criticism starts in your family, starts in between your friends, between your closer circle, you know, and this is the point that hurts a lot. You just have to face it not calmly, but you have to know it before you go public. You just have to know that, okay, I will face this criticism. Everybody will have their own idea about how would you better do your work? How would you better do your presentation? How would you better, you know, like give the interview or something, you know, or post something in a social media or have your video or photo? They know for sure better, but you just have to calmly say that, guys, I know what I'm doing. And for example, your family and your friends, your near circle, you cannot get far from you. Yes, these are your people of your life, so you just have to explain to them that now I'm going public, so please support me, or if you cannot support me, so then at least do not criticize me that much, because it hurts me, and I would ask you to help, but not to be negative. Do not get involved there in this criticism. You know, it is very important, because getting involved in this criticism, you just you just lose a lot of your energy that you can create something with, not losing this for hate or for criticism. Next magic questions is, how well developed are your leadership traits? Here, you have to understand that if you are a leader, the most important thing, you have to feel yourself a leader, because then you can show it to your audience and to your team, for example, to your family, and they will feel it. If you don't inside yourself, if you don't really feel yourself as a leader, then people around will understand this. They will feel this. So this is not about showing yourself a leader. This is about feeling yourself a leader inside yourself. And if you really need still something to do to improve your leadership, then do it. For example, you need to learn English better. For example, you need to learn Ukrainian better, or you need to learn product management better, or something else, you know, like your appearance, your style, your image, anything you think you have to improve, do it before you go public. Okay, so if we have any questions, I will answer them later. Okay. Okay. Next question is, are you aware of all responsibility and ready to take it upon yourself? The public is not comfortable. Here you have to understand that when we go public, when we really become a personal brand, we have to be responsible on our appearance, on what do we think, on what do we do, on what do we say in public. Because when you go famous, when you become famous, when you become a famous and public leader, people will follow you. People will do what you say. People will think what you think, and you have to understand this responsibility. So please be responsible leaders. I'm sure here everyone is, but just let's pay attention on this point, okay? So next question, how professionally prepared are you? You have to be a 100% expert. Here, professional in what? Professional in in your personal brand positioning. For example, what is positioning? This is your naming. How will you name yourself in public? For example, Любовь Mochalova, PR expert. This is positioning. So you choose this positioning for yourself, and you write it on any platforms, everywhere where the audience, where people can see you and can face you, can meet you. In your website, in the company's website, in your personal social media, in company's social media, in interview, everywhere where you meet, where people will meet you, they have to see one naming, one positioning of your personal brand. And how to choose this positioning? You have to see, just to sit down and to think about your expertise and choose one trait, one that you are best in. Yes. For example, you are the best in communicating, in HR management or product management, or you are good at some other processes. Yes. You know what you're expert in. So here, you have to be sure about your expertise for 100%, because when you go public, when you will start to promote yourself, also here we know already that we have to show the audience our expertise, and the way we feel inside ourselves, the way people will read us, this way people will see us, feel us, and if you are shy, if you think that your expertise is not well enough, if you are not, if you don't value yourself enough as an expert, your audience will feel this, yes, and your team will feel this. The social media will, the journalists will feel this, your company owner, everybody will. So you just have to think about it. And if you have, for now, not 100% of expertise in your way, in your thing, you have to make it 100%. For example, you can go and take some courses, some learning, get some mentors, some expertise from the outside. Next, is your executive level high enough? Because you will have to have enough time for PR activity. You know, if you become a personal brand, you just like you're having your breakfast, or just like you're going to your work or doing your everyday routine, you have to find enough time every day or day after day for your PR activity. For example, today you just like having this in your checklist in everyday deals. For example, today you do the post in LinkedIn. Tomorrow you do the video. The next day you, I don't know, make the lecture for the students. Then you have your own master class somewhere. Yes. So you have to have enough time, enough energy, and enough space in your everyday schedule for your PR activities if you want to become a really good personal brand. And it is very important to know that working on your personal brand is always systematical work. So you cannot promote yourself for like a few weeks or a few years and then go down. You have to do it all the time. It's like, lifetime marathon. Okay, so next question. Is your internal motivation sufficient? Don't you get rid on the first, second, fifth jump. Go public is always inconvenient. It is always uncomfortable. It is sometimes very negative. You have a lot of criticism, sometimes haters, your fears. You face your fears all the time because even go on the scene, go public and do the lecture for the big audience, it is very scary. Yes, it is always careful, or even make a video or give the interview on the TV or somewhere. It is always careful. But if your motivation, if your finishing goal is very big, and it's as big and as high as a star, you will do all this and you will overcome all these critical moments, all these negative moments. But you will always, you must know what are you doing this for. And this aim of your personal brand must be very yours. It cannot be like I go public and I'm personal brand to help my company, to promote some team, to promote our product. No, it must be just something for you. Okay. And my favorite question, of course, do you feel that you are fulfilling the purpose of your whole life? This is very inner, this is very deep question, and you have to maybe stay alone with yourself, make yourself comfortable and think deeply. The position and the expertise you are now working in, is this the deal of whole your life? Is this the mission of your life? Or it's just for this year, or this is just for a part-time? Because becoming a personal brand has results only in the sphere where you're really fulfilling the mission of your life. It always works like this. If you are doing something that you want to do for your whole lifetime, then you will become a perfect expert, and then you will become a perfect personal brand. This is for sure. And here are some general tips from me. When you want to promote your career, when you want to get some higher level position in your company, make sure you work on your own brand, not only the company or the company owner. I was starting from this, and I want to end with this because I want all of you to remember these words. They are very important. We live in a men's world, especially speaking about IT sphere. We all know it, and we have to always think about our personal brand. Of course, helping the team, of course, working perfectly, of course, being 100% expert, and so on. But still, together with all these, always think about your personal brand, promote yourself in a company and between the team, promote yourself in the inner world, promote yourself between the partners, promote yourself for the journalists. Do all this, and then you will be respected from the team side, from the company owner's side, from the client's side, because they all will see a lot of work on your personal brand. It is always respectful, believe me. Next, make sure that the company owner knows about your will to grow. It is not a secret, but still, we're sometimes really afraid to promote ourselves, to propose our candidature for some position in the company. It is normal, it is okay, but still, make sure that the owner knows that you want this position. Just come up to him and say or write to him. I think, but prepare before this speech, of course. Make sure you are really ready for this position. You have enough knowledge, for example, you know what to do on this position, you know which improvements you can do, and speak to the company owner. Make sure he knows about your will and about your wish. And of course, make sure you are already a leader for the team and you will be promoted. This is, I think, the most important tip here. If we're saying about promotion, doesn't matter in IT sector or any other sector, you have to be with your team. You have to be already a leader for them, and then you will be promoted. And I think that you all know, if we have the CEO from this very company, the person that was growing from position to position in this company, the team will love this CEO and they will perfectly work with him. It is worse when the CEO or any top manager is invited from the outside. It's always like this. So if you want to grow in your company, please make sure you are already a leader for the team. How to become a leader? Of course, be helpful. Of course, be expert. Of course, be positive and be very, very communicative person. Connecting people in team is very important. It's also from PR sector, but I'm giving you the secret. Yes, if you're the person that connects everyone in the team, you are a leader of this team and you will be for sure promoted. So this is it. Thank you very much for your attention. If somebody is interested in PR, in making a personal brand in your career, you can visit my website, you can visit my social media, you can call me anytime. You can come to my PR course for personal brands and I will help you all. And thank you really for your attention. Sorry for the presentation at the beginning. I'm ready to answer any questions if you have.
Lyubov, thank you so much for very informative presentation. For now, I see we don't have a question because everything is clear. But anyway, now our people has your contact, so they are ready to contact you for any questions they have. Thank you so much. And we are slowly moving to our last speaker, Kohavit. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. We are thrilled to meet you and to listen to your speech. So let's start.
Thank you very much. First of all, can you see me?
Yes, we see you.
Okay. I'm not... oh, it seems that I'm connected via the Google, my Google laptop, and it seems that we are restricted to share our screen while other participants are sharing. So maybe you can unshare.
Now everything is okay. You can try.
Okay, I'm trying again. Okay, let's see.
Yes, super. We see. Great. We see your presentation. Just ask you to unmute, and I feel like we can start. Kohavit, please unmute your mic.
Can you hear me?
Yes, super.
Yeah, can you see the presentation right now? Because it seems that when I'm sharing the presentation, I'm muted by design. I'm not sure why.
Now we see only you, but we can hear you well.
So when I'm sharing, maybe as the admin of this meeting, you can unmute myself. I will try to share and we can see what.
Yes, we can try. We can try.
Okay, let's try. Okay, so I'm sharing the presentation again. Can you hear me?
Now, yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So just to understand, I don't see that there are a lot of participants in the audience, or maybe it's just me. Again, I'm used to Google Meet. So am I wrong?
Sorry, you don't see your presentation again. Maybe you can send us and we can share.
Okay. Maybe you can send me your email and you will share it.
Yes, sure. I will send you. Let's now try to share meanwhile one more time while I'm texting.
One more time. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, let's start. Okay. So hello everyone. Can I start? Is that okay?
Yes, you can start, sure.
Okay. So my name is Kochavit Almagor. I'm Director of Engineering in Google Cloud, GCP. I'm already serving the high-tech industry for, I think, something like 25 years. Started as a developer and then grew to be a manager. Always, I was part of the technical, let's say, ladder, whether I was a manager or an IC. For me, technology is something that, I really like to do and to be involved. But I can tell you that in the past, let's say, 10 years, I actually pivot from just technology to technology which involve more business. So technology and business. So understand what customers like and how do we build product that customer would love to use. Something personal about myself. So again, I'm married to Iftach. Iftach is my husband. We're both living in Israel, in a small city next to Tel Aviv, and we have 3 kids. My let's say my older daughter is 18 and a half years old, and I have a 16 years old son and 13 years old son. And as you can see, we love to do trips around the world. Here, I think that we are somewhere in Switzerland. We had a very nice trip in the mountains. So yeah, really liked it. And really like my family and being with them. I think it's very important for us as women and also as mothers to be with our families. So what I want to talk about is to give you some examples. Okay, I have, I think, less than half an hour to, let's say, demonstrate you with several examples how how Kochovit took some risk. And I think that it's not like big risk, but there are calculated risks that brought me to be more successful in my career path. And one of the methods is not just to take the risk, but also to turn the lemon to a lemonade, like turn the situation to something better. And this is all started. So you see here 4 or 5. So one of the things that Israelis, let's say high school kids get a chance to do when they do their finals is to choose whether they are doing like 5 point in math or 4. And I was a very good student, but I was also very stressed. Like I was very stressed before test, and when there were like some kind of test that I didn't have time to be prepared, so I was kind of nervous. So my grades were pretty good, but not like excellent. So at the end of the year, when I had to decide whether I want to do the 4 points or 5 points, my teacher actually advised me, hey, Kovic, maybe it will be easier for you. We'll probably get 100 if you will take the easier path. It means like the 4 point. And first of all, I was very insulted because I'm very mission oriented, task oriented, and perfectionist. So I asked her, but why don't you suggest me to work hard and try to do like 5 points in the finals? And then she told me it will be harder for you. You will have to put and invest so much effort. So I could tell you that eventually there was some kind of a test that I needed to do during the vacation, the summer vacation, to be accepted to 5 points, but I didn't give up. And as let's say junior high uh, pupil, I decided to take this fight, to take this risk, and eventually take the harder, let's say, track and learn mathematics in a, let's say, higher level. And I can tell you that at the end of the finals, I came to this teacher and show her my final results. And they were, I don't remember if it was like 95, 96, or 97, but it was like really high. Um, and yes, I had to work hard. Yes, it was not trivial. Yes, I had to fight to be let's say excellent. But yes, it worth it. And I think that the fact that I did 5 points actually drove me to go and believe in myself and to try and learn computer science. Now, um, this is again one of the, let's say, negotiation that I had with myself. Like I had a doubt. Like I told myself, should I go to let's say a profession which is not so familiar within women. I didn't see, at least when I was young, a lot of female engineers. And I was thinking to myself, this is programming. I don't see many women around. Should I do that, or maybe I should focus on something else? Maybe something like industrial management. Maybe something like more project management that I saw, like more women in that area. But then I decided to go for computer science because I think that knowing programming is a door opener. And that's what I thought. I thought that eventually, I can learn, and whether I will be, let's say, an engineer or a program manager or a product manager, the fact that I have the basic skills, understanding how we are developing, makes me more, let's say, makes the fundamentals more um, strong to get to be better at what I'm doing. So again, getting to know programming is a door opener, and it will give you the basics for many other domains in the high-tech industry. So again, I took a risk. It's not a risk, but it's a decision that actually was not trivial. Now, as I told you, after learning programming, I could find a career track as an engineer, but also you can see here a lot of other, let's say, professions technical professions that you can actually be involved in, whether it's quality assurance, program management, be a technical writer, or yes, or an engineer. Eventually, I actually decided to be an engineer. And I can tell you that my first job was in a company called Avaya. We were developing switches and routers to phones and communication systems. And I was involved in a team that eventually developed some kernel basic models to these products. And as a team member in the kernel team, I was actually a low-level engineer, and I was programming in C and a bit of Pascal, and it was very nice because I learned this during the university. But after a while, after several years being involved in the high tech industry, I actually came to know that it's more interesting for me to be to be in front of customer and to understand the product, to understand their user interface, rather than develop some backend, let's say, components. After having been, something like 3 or 4 years as a low level developer, I did a decision, and actually I moved to a new team that actually did something else totally in terms of technological, and I became more like an application developer, more involved in the UI and whatever the user or actually the customer sees when they are using the product. And you know why? It was because I wanted to let's say express myself in a way that the things that I love to do will be expressed in my day-to-day job. And what I like to do is being in front of customers, understand what they are seeing, how they are using the product, and eventually how they engaging with the product. And being a developer of the high level application of the UI was more, it fitted more than being a backend developer, a kernel developer. That's what I started my career with, and I did that switch. And I think that that was the right decision for me, as any one of you in the audience should eventually do what she likes, and what she brings to the table needs to be something that she can express herself and do it in the best way. So one of the companies that I worked for a really long time, and I owe a big thank, is Converse. It was an Israeli company, and I was a developer in the billing domain. So billing of a cellular operator. I developed, a very let's say large scale products, and the business was very good and very large. But I felt that something is missing eventually. And after working for a while in that company, I actually looked for something, you know, um, that is more like a mission for me to do. Um, and I thought that, hey, as an engineer, I would like to work on products that eventually will impact the world to be a better place. That what actually will make me a better person, or at least that's what I will feel that makes me a better person. And then I looked for two domains. The first one is the cybersecurity. There are attackers. We want to create a better world to save the customers from a phishing attack or any kind of cyber attack. And the second domain was the health tech. So I thought that, hey, maybe I can develop a product that eventually can save people from stroke or from heart attack, to give a notification to any kind of hospital which is close by to the user. So these were the two, let's say, domains that I was looking for something to do. Now, for me, it was not a trivial decision, because when you're working in a certain domain, in a billing domain, and you're looking for a new job, so eventually the more, let's say, obvious places that will give you a job opportunity would be more or less similar company in the same domain. But I was looking for something else. I was looking for something that I will feel that I'm fulfilling a mission and I'm doing something good for the world. Because I felt that, hey, if we're, getting up in the morning and we go to our work, going to spend them there at least, I don't know, 8 or 9 or even more hours, we want to do something meaningful. And for me, working in the cybersecurity domain was an option. So I can tell you that it was not easy to find a job in the cybersecurity domain. So what I had to do is to try and look harder. And I got a lot of job proposals, okay? There were a lot of opportunities, but not in that domain. Eventually, there was a startup, a small startup of cybersecurity, and they offered me they told me that, hey, you don't have enough experience in the cybersecurity domain. We are looking for someone that is really specialized in endpoint protection, but you're a good developer and you're a good manager, so we could see you fit to let's say manage our QA team, quality assurance, and eventually lead that team. And by that, you can get to learn and know the cybersecurity domain, and hey, we will see after that what will happen, but start with that. Now, in the beginning, I was thinking, oh my God, to be a QA, I'm an engineering manager. How come should I be a QA? It's kind of like downgrade for me, as I developed end-to-end product, and I have so many other job proposals. So why should I, like choose this track? But eventually, I thought to myself, hey, if I want to get to a new domain that I don't have any experience, I need to do something, let's say, more drastic, or maybe compromise and take a risk, take another risk. And I can tell you that eventually I took this job opportunity, okay, and joined this startup. Okay, the startup it was called Cyvera. Now, when I came, and this is just a matter of luck, I think, when I came to sign the contract, actually the two entrepreneurs of the startup told me, hey, Kohavit, you actually did your first exit because we were just being bought by Palo Alto Networks, which is one of the largest cybersecurity companies in the world. So eventually, my job as a QA manager turned out to be more focused, because the startup product quality, the endpoint protection product, was in a startup quality. So they were not ready for mass production. They were not ready to be installed in millions, tens of millions of endpoints. And that is why I took the advantage of this opportunity and actually turned to be the quality director, managing also all the projects of this startup that was part of Palo Alto Networks. And I had the leverage and the back, let's say, of the company to fund a very large QA team, which was not just, let's say, manual testers, but we have decided to automate all the testing. So we were hiring many engineers and even researchers that did security evaluation. So I up-level the quality, let's say, domain to something much more holistic that did end-to-end verification for the product. And I can tell you one more thing. I can tell you that by, being part of the QA, I actually understood something different about how products are being developed. Beside, getting into the cybersecurity domain and understanding, all, let's say, all the niche of endpoint protection. How does exploit work? What is a ransomware? How do we protect endpoint, and what are the ways to attack user endpoint? And of course, how do we test it? What are the use cases? So I can tell you that on top of that, I had a different angle of looking at the, let's say, dev life cycle, not just from a dev manager point of view, but also from an end-to-end, from the quality assurance person that is actually simulating the user and making sure that everything, every flow, every day in a life scenario for the customer actually works. And this was a great experience for me. So I can tell you that, just to summarize, I worked for Palo Alto Networks for more than 5 years. Eventually, I became the dev director of that group. Okay, and I built the trust in the old teams. And one day, I had one recruiter called me from McAfee. And she told me, "Hey, Kochavit, we heard about you, and we need a site manager to our site in Israel of McAfee." Now, in Palo Alto Networks, I was not a site manager, and I was one of the senior people in the site. But for me, it was kind of an opportunity, but also a risk, because McAfee was considered, and still considered, as like the legacy company of cybersecurity, not as Palo Alto Networks was growing rapidly and creating, on a daily basis, innovative product. McAfee was like staying behind. It was the Palo Alto Networks of, let's say, long time ago. And I thought to myself, hey, you're going to get a job of a site manager, but eventually it's for a company that is considered to be less successful. Do you want it, Kochavit? Is that the right decision? You're very successful in Palo Alto Networks. Why should you move? So I can tell you that, again, I guess that you are already guessing that I took this chance, and I became the site manager of McAfee. It was not easy, because I can tell you that when you're a site manager, usually you are alone in the top. And McAfee was a company that was struggling with products that had a lot of quality, let's say, challenges in many tier 1 customers. And it meant that I had to work very, very hard to stabilize things and to invest in quality. And you know what? Since I had this experience, in the past from Palo Alto Networks to be a quality manager, I actually thought to myself, hey, I'm so lucky to have this opportunity to be a site manager with the quality experience that I gained from Palo Alto Networks. So again, this is another risk that I took, an untrivial decision that brought me one step ahead. And Lastly, after being a site manager in McAfee for something like 2 years, I was fortunate to be in an IPO of McAfee. So it was very, very nice in terms of, let's say, compensation. But eventually, I had to do something which is not trivial, because McAfee asked us to move some of the knowledge to low-cost centers. And then I had to move a lot of the engineering knowledge to low-cost centers. And it had, for me, it required a lot of, let's say, investment in convincing the team that this is the right thing to do, because this is McAfee mission. We did an IPO. Now we need to make sure that we are continue to stick to the company strategy. After some time, I decided to look for a new, work, as most of the knowledge was already transferred, and I felt that, hey, I did my thing. And there were several companies that actually I had opportunities to take great roles in them. But for me, there were companies, I will give you just an example. Companies like cybersecurity companies, companies which, like be VP R&D, or even the CPO of small startups in different domains. And yes, there was also Google. But the thing is that in Google, the opportunity was different. It was different because it was being a director of engineering as part of GCP in the file storage. Now, I can tell you that I'm not a storage expert. No, I work for so many years in the cybersecurity domain. So now, pivoting to the storage, to the file storage, file system, distributed system, it's a whole new thing. Should I do that? Or should I, choose the, let's say, more trivial decision of staying in the cybersecurity domain? Eventually, I took Google. I took the job opportunity of Google for several reasons. The first one, I believe that, Google is doing engineering right. And Google knows to build a platform. So I thought to myself, I need to work in that company, no matter what. It's so important for me. And this is a one-time opportunity. The second thing is the storage area is not something that I'm aware, but I believe that diversify my career is something which is always can be considered to be good. And I believe that the security background that I have will create better products in terms of storage. And I think that the point of view that I can bring to these teams is very good, as I have a lot of experience integrating products in a large platform. And one of the missions that I had in Google, which is the third reason, is Google bought a startup. It's called Elastifile. And one of the job responsibilities that I got, the position, was making sure that we are integrating successfully the startup in Google platform, in Google Cloud platform. So I thought to myself, hey, for me, this is not just a technical challenge, but it also a challenge of integrating people to understand Google culture. And I think that Google is a company that has one of the best engineering culture, how to make things right, how to do engineering right, how to collaborate, how to build, let's say, smart products. And I thought to myself, I want to be part of this. Let's say, I want that this will be part of my journey. And I can tell you that on top of that, I decided that when I started to work for Google, that I'm not just going to work in one company and that's it. I'm also going to spice my career into things. First one, I want to try and be an advisory board for companies, for startup maybe in the cybersecurity domain, as I have a lot of knowledge, and for me there is no any conflict of interest in terms of Google. So why not? I want to be visible to the market. I want to make sure that companies can gain out of my knowledge, and I want to, to make good to the world. So why not? And the second thing, I started to formally be a lecturer. So I'm joining a lot of conferences around the world. Some of them are part of Google, so I'm like representing Google. But I can tell you that last week, I think, I was invited to Geneva in Switzerland, um, just as an independent person, because people actually heard about me, and saw me talking. So I was invited to be a lecturer in Women in Data Science event, and for me, this was an amazing event when I could actually see so many amazing women in one place and actually inspire them from what I learned in my career, and also be inspired by them. So I told you about several risks that I took in my career, that eventually every untrivial decision, every risk taking eventually, you know, upraised me, uplifted me to a better place in my career. And as a woman and as an advisor, I would recommend you to do the same. Don't be afraid. Dare do more, because I believe that from every situation, whether it's a lemon or not, you can make it sweeter and turn it to a lemonade. And lastly, I have one tip for you. And my tip is, whatever you are doing, wherever you are, whatever company that you are working for, please always, you know, come from good. Smile to the world. The world will smile back to you. I believe that people that help other people, I believe that people that are actually, being good in what they are doing and actually contributing from their self, somehow, I'm not sure, it's kind of a magic, and I can tell you that, it happened to me during all my life, and it's not just related to my career. It comes back. It pays. So for me, I will end my lecture with that a life motto that I would really recommend you to embrace. Thank you very, very much.
Kohavi, thank you so much for sharing your career path. You motivated us to take risk.
Definitely.
Yes, for sure. And you showed how it's important to do and not to be afraid of any changes. You had a lot, and now you get some success, and you continue to be successful in your life. So thanks a lot for sharing. I will not let you go away because we have questions.
Sure.
So the first question, Anna is curious, what is the percentage of women in your team now?
I will tell you. So I'm not so good, but I can tell you that I improved it a lot. I can tell you that we started from something like 10%. And actually now it's more like I multiplied it. So I did that, but it's not just. I have one more treat for you. I also initiated a program in Google. It's in the Israeli site that it called Started Google, and I got a fund from Ruth Porat, who is the CFO of Google. So I'm not sure how I got the money, but it's a lot of money, believe me. And what I do is I'm actually leading a plan that is giving juniors from different minorities. So it can be women, of course, uh, and but also Arabs and Orthodox people, and people eventually that didn't, study in the most fancy universities in Israel. No, I'm looking for the people that are from the suburbs and don't have, the opportunity to work for a fancy company like Google. Now, I opened this program, and we chose something like 30 or even 40 juniors that finished their university studies. Either it was university or college, and out of these people, we chose probably half, because that's what the funding allow us. So we gave them 3 months course, and after this course, something like 17 or 18 people are working for my team. Okay, so I give my neck to do some real project that will serve Google Cloud. Now, for me, I have the funding to hire to hold them for 1 year, and for me, this is something that I can actually train them to gain the opportunity as Googlers. After that year, they will get an assessment from their manager, and if when they are going to the market, it's not like they are like juniors. They are not juniors. They are Googlers. They are ex-Googlers that looking for a new job, and we will definitely give them a recommendation. Of course, if we have, like open recs, I can definitely hire, but not all of them. But for me, it's an opportunity to do something good and give these minorities a boost in their career.
Yeah, for sure. They are super lucky to get such opportunity. I feel it will be a great start for them in future.
Yeah, that's
Great.
why it's called Started Google.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Can you suggest people or media, blogs, podcasts to follow?
Oh, follow me?
Can you suggest
In general?
in general? Of course, we will share your LinkedIn as well.
No. Just I don't do podcasts, so that's why I'm embarrassed. I don't have time.
People are interested whom you are reading or following, maybe whom you can advise.
Yeah. I'm thinking. So, to be honest, I feel that there are a lot of women leaders that I'm inspired. Sheryl Landsberg, that ex Facebook. So she's an inspiration for me. I read her books, and I'm following her even in Facebook. I feel that we can learn from every, let's say, woman leader. So in my opinion, this is very, very inspiring. So I prefer to follow women leader than men leader, but there are also good men leaders. I'm honest. But anyway, Sheryl Landsberg is one of them, definitely. I would like to whoever you're following, and to give you an advice, okay, as women. So don't just follow, okay? Also brand yourself. So maybe not like so many people that are following Cheryl will follow you, but find the audience that whatever content that you can give, whether it's a post or an article, or yes, a podcast, they can follow you back. So I'm saying there is a very good strategy to PR yourself by and brand yourself by publishing content. And I think that whatever you're doing, you should whether publish it like in a podcast, in an article, in a simple post. So don't just follow. Make sure that other people also follow you. One of the things that I did during all of my career, and you can connect me in LinkedIn and see some articles that I wrote, is publishing some technical articles as well as inspirational articles, like even things that I'm not like specialized in them, like how to be a good parent and balance your work and life as a mother to kids. So you can take a look. And I'm not like a professional writer, but I think that what I do well is that I'm very authentic. And I think that everyone can be authentic, and I think that what eventually attract people. People are not looking for the fancy words and the perfect people. People are looking for people like them. And remember the quote: when she can see it, she can be it. I want that women will see me, and I think that I'm quite regular, and I want them to know that they can be at least like me, if not more.
Very inspiring to start our personal brand tomorrow and write our thoughts, share with people. Thanks. Okay, we answer questions, but in the same time we get new questions. So can you share, please, some fails in your career?
Oh, so many. Okay. So, in Hebrew, you can say, first of all, I will share, no problem. But I can tell you something that my friends, my colleagues are describing me. I have endless resilience for everything that happens. And they are saying in Hebrew, you have an idiom that says she doesn't see in her eyes, like she's like moving forward and she doesn't look to the side, like she has a goal, she's going to conquer the hill or whatever. So I don't know exactly how to translate here, but I'm sure that you understand. And I will tell you what is my motto, and I would like to inspire you to act the same and to think the same. I feel that we should take a look at our career, for example, okay, and our work and our daily, whatever we're doing them there, as a game, okay? And whenever I'm actually going to present a very complicated solution or going to be asked in a QBR by very executive people from Google, and believe me, everyone in Google are so smart. Yeah, everyone is so smart. A very tough question. I'm not taking things inside here. I'm taking it here because eventually it's a game. And even if I fail in the game, it's just a game. Whatever is important is our health, our families, our happiness. This is what is really important. If someone insulted me, it's his problem. It's not mine. Okay, it's his. I'm saying that we should be very resilient to whatever is happening in our career, because eventually it's all just a game. Now, if you ask me about failures, so definitely I can tell you that in McAfee. So I told you that there are a lot of, we were facing a lot of challenges in terms of quality. And I just got to the company, okay? And the day after, I got from a very, 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 and I will say one more time, very big bank, a complaint, a mail complaint, and they complained, and they actually told me the product is crap. And I saw that, I thought, oh my God, is that how people are writing in a mail? And is that a culture thing? I thought that Israelis are rude. So, and then, okay, so then it wasn't my fault because I just got there. But then we worked very hard on a fix. So it fixed the problem, but it actually created a larger problem that created an outage. So then they didn't send an email to me. I was invited to a meeting that they said how much it's not just a crop, so it was a disaster. So and eventually they were thinking about like moving to our competitors, and I could understand them. But I can tell you that again, the real motto to make these things is always not to be afraid to get mistakes. Okay, so you're mistaken. It happens. Nothing happened. It's just a game. You remember, that's the motto. But I think that you need every time to debrief yourself and think of how can I make things better? How can I learn out of my mistakes and improve for next time? And for that customer, you know what I did? I actually, so the first call was like they are yelling at me, and I was like sitting like that, and I was like shocked. But eventually, I told them, what can I do to fix things? And I sent them like a long list of all the problems that they described. I also, well, this is a bit technical, but I understood and read between the lines that the configuration of the product is very hard for them. But, they don't know any other product, so they don't know for the solution. So I suggested them, hey, look, I will fix this problem, but I'm also going to give you some kind of, let's say, automated UI configuration, whereby a few clicks and answering a few questions, you will be able to configure this complicated product, at least for the basic policy. And I'm going to allocate X resources. Okay, I don't remember if it was like 5 of my best engineers to do that. And I can tell you that after, I think it was like several weeks, I don't remember if it was 2 or 4, there was already a demo. And eventually the customer gave the team, my team, a great recognition and enlarged the install base. Like they multiplied the number of instances. And, I was proud because, again, this was a very, very sour lemon, but we turned it to a lemonade.
So we can use your quote in every situation.
Definitely do that.
Okay, and the last question for today, a lot of them, but I kindly ask audience if you have any questions, we will send you follow-up and LinkedIn page. Maybe you can connect with speakers and ask on messages. So the last for today, which qualities does Google search on people and how to get to work for Google?
No, please repeat.
Which qualities does Google search for people?
Which what Google search in people?
Qualities.
Qualities. Sorry, I my hearing. Okay, okay. I will tell you which qualities Google seek in people. Okay. First of all, I think that Google are looking for smart people. And it doesn't mean that smart, you should have like a lot of experience in a specific domain. I can tell you that during the interview, I had several, by the way, a lot of interviews till I got to Google, but eventually there were many kind of questions. Some of them were like design questions on topics that I'm not aware, but some of them were specifically, how do I get to solve a problem? And the solution was not the thing that, was specifically matters, but how do I get there? And not just how do I get there, how do I brainstorm with the interviewer? They, Google like people that collaborate, and I can tell you one of the best things that I see in our culture. And yeah, I work for many companies, but no one is like Google in that matter. Is that engineers? Everything is like transparent, and people really want to help each other. So I think that if you have an interview, don't just work in silo, do all the work, and then get the answer to the interviewer. The interviewer expect you to ask some leading questions, to ask some clarification that will get you to the answer, and in that way they will know the way you are thinking, the way your brain works. And I think that is something that they are looking for. I can also tell you, Leslie, that Google embraced diversity and inclusion. And I believe that we would like to enlarge the number of women working in Google. We don't get enough CV, I can tell you. And this is problematic. I really hope that if there are women in the audience that are looking for, new positions, do that. I believe that you have good chances, at least to start the process.
I wish such inspiring speeches can lead women to think about that, to start a career, not to be afraid to stop the previous life and start something new, or even switch.
Of course. Of course. And as I said, it's all just a game. Don't be afraid.
Kohavit, thank you so much for being with us. It was super great speech. And I see more and more questions, but if you give permission, we will send to LinkedIn and all people can
yeah, you can connect me via LinkedIn. You're more than welcome to share my LinkedIn profile. Perfect. And I encourage you to read to read some of the articles that I wrote. Just see the inspiration, see also whatever I focused there, and don't just read and say, oh, she's so talented. No, make something of your own. You can do that. If I did that, you definitely can do that.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye for now. Thank you. It's my honor. Bye.
Thank you so much. Okay, we are on the final stage. Thanks everyone for being with us today. We had 4 incredible speakers. Thank you so much. We had a lot of registration, and everyone who was with us today or for some reasons couldn't join us will get a record. So if you want to see some moments one more time, or you want to show this live to your friends, feel free. Tomorrow everyone will get a record. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for spending this this evening with us. Lots of love from me and All Stars IT. Bye-bye.